What should your sales process look like when you're trying to get an Airbnb that you do not own? I'm going to go over that right now here on the Fearless Investor Podcast. Hey guys, welcome into the Fearless Investor Podcast. You're listening to me, Kyle Stanley. If you are returning, like many of you are, you know I love the co-host model. That's the biggest way that I was able to expand my business so quickly, going from 0 to 70 properties in over 4 years. Now we're back down to about 55. We did some trimming off the bone in the most recent months, but we're still actively looking for co-host properties, especially in the Central California area. And I get this question a lot, like, what does that process look like? How do you get the leads? How do you talk to them? Are you pitching? What if you don't have any experience? And I got this specific question in my six-figure formula group. And so what did I decide to do? I decided to go ahead and share the answer with you guys here too. So you're going to listen to me answer one of my members' questions in the six-figure formula. His name is Norman. Norman asked this great question, and I was able to dive deep into really a 5-step process on acquiring a lead, bringing them through the sales process, and then eventually closing them. Now, if you're not a part of the six-figure formula and you're like, wow, he's really getting in depth on this, and this is the stuff he talks about in the six-figure formula, good news, it's only $49 a month, and you can get that at fearlesskyle.com/6FF. You'll find everything you need to know about this offer. It's the course, it's the community where I do live calls just like this one that you're hearing the recording of, and it's discounts to exclusive partners that no one else is getting. For example, I talk about it in this video, Rank Breeze, 15% off. Rank Breeze, 15% off. No one else is getting that discount, only if you're a six-figure formula member. So go check it out, fearlesskyle.com/6FF. But without further ado, let's go ahead and talk about my sales process, especially for co-hosting leads. Norman, your question was, what does your pitch look like? Do you just show numbers? I can't get you more than a long-term rental rate. I'm still new. If I don't have a lot of experience, any strategies to get someone to work with me? So Norman, in the course, there is an actual co-hosting sample meeting. Have you watched that? That's going to answer so many of your questions. Here is my process, my sales process. And I'll give you an exact sales process I'm using right now with cold leads. I was able to find some underperforming properties in the area that I service. I was able to get that owner's contact information, call this person, hey, I saw your property online on yada yada website. Looks like you've been with them for a little bit. I actually have some properties in the area too. Do you mind if I just ask you a question about this company that you're working with? Right. So instead of me just pitching, I go into some questions. I'm always digging first. I want to know what the problem is. That's sales 101. What is the problem that I can solve? If I just go straight into sales mode, yesterday, just so you know, to give you an example, I got a call from a guy yesterday who wants to rent my property long-term over in Phoenix, which is great. And I'm actually looking to do that long-term because I'm further away and I've ended my relationship with my management company over there. So I said, great. Tell me a little bit about yourself. He just went into pitch mode. He just went into, hey, and he wants to arbitrage the house. He's like, hey, I do short-term to long-term rentals. I'm actually a company. I'm not a person that's going to rent this. I would, get the insurance claims, yada, yada, yada. Whoa. If I didn't know what you were talking about, dude, all that would have gone right over my head. But luckily, he's talking to someone that actually knows this. I know what arbitrage is. I know what insurance claims are. I know what short-term and long-term, midterm rentals are. I know all those things. So I told him, I was like, hey, I know exactly what you're doing. And actually, you're a perfect fit. That's kind of what I'm looking for at this place. But had I not known what he was talking about, he didn't take any time to learn what are my pain points. He didn't ask me like, hey, how long has this been up for rent? And did you have any renters before? Did you used to live there yourself? What are some of the awesome things about the property? What are some of the things that you struggle with on the property? What were some of the things that you struggle with your last tenants? I'm going to take some time to ask those questions to get the pain points. Sometimes it takes one question to get a pain point. Sometimes it takes a few questions to get pain points. Luckily, on this call with this other owner, I said, I found your property on this website. Looks like you're with X, Y, and Z rental company. I've got a property in the area. Can I ask you a question? So automatically shields down because I'm not selling him anything, right? He doesn't feel like he's being sold. He's like, yeah, I've been with them for a while. They're just kind of I'm like, oh yeah, I've heard that too. What's kind of been about it? And he said, well, it's tough to get them on the phone. They're a company. I get it, but they are really understaffed. And so I just feel like I'm never really totally certain of how my property is doing. I don't know when it's booked. I don't know when I can go see it. And if my wife and I want to go use it, we kind of have to call them, months ahead of time because we can't just go use it last minute because it's tough to get in contact with them. Man, that's rough. I'm glad I had a conversation with you because I've actually heard that too about this company. And if you're open to it, I'd like to actually share with you about my management company and how we're way better than that experience that you're talking about. And we're getting people results. In fact, my most recent client that just moved over from the company you're using to me said I made her more money in January, February, and March. And she was able to easily get a hold of my team anytime during that time than any of the past experiences she had with that company. So made her more money in 3 months than she made in the past altogether with this other company, which was over 12 months. And I was able to get my team in contact with her with ease. And he said, yeah, I'm interested in knowing that. I said, okay, great. Next step, I like to ask a couple questions about the property. Is there a mortgage on it? No, there's no mortgage. Okay, great. Is there anything unique on the property? I'm seeing the photos. Looks like maybe there's a barbecue. Is there a hot tub? Is there anything else? No, there's a fifth. And he told me there's kind of a fifth like den, which could be considered a fifth bedroom, but we've just kind of put a couple couches in there and a foosball table and called it a little bit of a game room. Okay, interesting. Cool. Let me look at that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put together an evaluation. I'd like to schedule a call to go over that evaluation with you. Okay, great. Just send me an email. Okay, you don't by chance have your calendar in front of you? No, I don't have it with me right now. I'm at my office. All right, no problem. Send him an email. I've got my evaluation ready to go. When's a good time? Can you just send me the evaluation? I can't do that. There's going to be way too many questions for you to have. So is there a chance that I can just schedule a quick 10-minute call? Now I can feel pushback. I can feel that he feels like he's being sold a little bit, right? He knows that if he gets onto another call with me, I might go for the kill. Which I'm not going to do, by the way. But that's what he's experienced. That's what he's used to. That's what any of us are used to in a sales experience. Don't be that person. Don't go for the kill. So what I said is after 3 days of just letting that email sit there, I'm not desperate for a deal, right? I'm not being like, hey, did you get my last email? I'm just reaching out and saying, hey, I know you're busy. I know finding 10 minutes might be tough. Would it be easier if I just sent you a 10-minute video with this analysis? And he said, thank you. That would actually be really great. I sent him the video. I followed up 48 hours later. Did you get a chance to watch this? He said, yes. In fact, my wife just watched it. We are in. We just need to get a couple things answered. Let me talk to my wife. By the way, the recommendations you had about the linens, we're totally on board for that. We'd like to change them out too. Boom, right? At no point in this process was I truly pitching, right? I was just straight up asking, what are the things that you're struggling with and what problems can I solve? And when I provided solutions, now, Norman, if you don't have any properties, don't feel like you have to have that experience. Just, hey, here's the down low. I'm new, but because I'm new, I'm going to give your property 100% of my attention. So you're going to have direct access to me, especially leaning on mentorship when you're brand new. I'm a part of a group with hundreds of short-term rental hosts that have over thousands and thousands of short-term rentals. I've spent a large sum of money to be a part of this group because I care about really building a business in this. And you can be my first client. You can get all the great knowledge that I've learned. You can already be the person for me that I put 100% of my attention into. And that's where, if you're really confident in what you're talking about, we've got one of my students who's in Vermont. They have one property that they own, but that's it. They haven't worked for any clients. And they were able to get a yes over the phone for properties in Florida. They live in Vermont. They were able to get a yes for properties in Florida. They called over 100. Okay. That's the thing I want you to understand. This is not easy. You're going to have to call 50 to 100 people potentially as often as you can meet in person, if possible. That's, and I tried to do that with this last guy too. I tried to say, can I come to your office and show this to you? I'm really busy. Okay, no problem. Let's do it over the phone. Phone didn't work. Okay, let me send you a video. Video was my last line of defense, but he said yes. And I was able to, at any point, I was able to meet him where he wanted to be met. He wanted to communicate in a certain way. I'm going to meet him where he's comfortable so that I don't feel like I'm selling him. And in that video, I just showed the calculator. Here's what I expect. Let me show you one of the proper or your property. Let me show you a successful property in that area. Here's the difference. Here's what I'd want to do. Are you open to that? If not, I'll take it over as is. But these changes would give you an updated look and give you more return on your income. And here's the next steps. And that video right there is the exact co-hosting sample meeting that you can take a look at in the course. I'm just going over those same things as I did in the course. A lot of information, but I hope the ease of this, right? Like, let's just break this down. Find the lead, call them, ask good questions, position yourself as a solution, ask for the next meeting, right? Find the lead, call them, ask good questions, position yourself as a solution, set the next meeting. That's all I'm doing. And in that next meeting, I'm going over the calculator and I'm answering the questions. All right, show notes for this one, as always, are right below. If you are on the YouTube video, if you're listening on the podcast, they're right here. Just go ahead and go back to your podcast platform and you'll see all the show notes. Make sure, though, once again, like, all of these questions are getting answered in our six-figure formula. You can ask them at any time. You can post questions and hear from our over 400 going on 500 members in the group, who most of them have short-term rentals. This is not like my free group Airbnb masterminds where you post something and you get a bunch of, stuff from random people who may not know what they're talking about. This is actual private members who are paying to be in this group, encouraging everyone, right? We're not hearing a bunch of the garbage like a lot of these free groups, including Airbnb Masterminds, has. Sorry if you're a part of that group, but there is a lot of garbage in there. But this one is targeted to help you encourage other members, help other members, add value to other members, and get value yourself as well. So go check it out, fearlesskyle.com/6FF. We'll see you next time. Thanks for joining us here on the Fearless Investor Podcast. We're helping you to conquer the world of short-term rentals.